From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is Wake Up Weather.
Good Friday morning. I'm Kelly Rawson here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We are live at 6 a.m. and we have a lot to discuss. We are warm this morning. Storms are well to our northwest. I'll show you that here in just a moment, but we do have the potential for strong to severe storms later on this evening into the overnight. I will have everything that you need to know, including timing and exactly what we can expect this evening with the potential, again, for strong to severe storms for tonight. We also have storms in the forecast for the weekend, but it is rather conditional because what happens the day prior will determine or significantly influence what happens the following day. So we will take it day by day, but we are certainly going to start with tonight's storm threat. For the last several hours, we have been mostly dry, just a few passing showers with clouds pretty thick in the sky overnight. You see plenty of showers and storms, but that is well off to our northwest, not creating a problem here locally by any means, and it should stay to our northwest until we get into it this evening for us here in the local viewing area in southern Middle Tennessee, northwest Alabama, and northeast Mississippi. But we are warm this morning. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s already, and it is just 6 o'clock. We did not cool very much due to that cloud cover acting as an insulation blanket, keeping us on the warm side with those clouds still sticking around for the next several hours. Dew points are in the upper 60s to lower 70s, and dew points, when they're close to the temperatures, that just means there's a lot of moisture in the air and it is feeling quite muggy outside. So it's quite a sticky morning, and we will be muggy for the rest of the day as well. We will also be hot today. Temperatures in the 80s expected, mid to maybe even some upper 80s, but winds right now are blowing out of the south, ushering in that warmer as well as that moist air from the south, and breezy conditions anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles an hour with that breeze this morning. Now heading into this evening, we do have again the potential for strong to severe storms. We are expecting a line of storms to develop well to our northwest and then move into our area later on into the evening, into the overnight hours. I'll get more specific with timing here in just a moment, but much of our area is in a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe storms. That's in this orange color right here that pretty much ends at the state line, just clipping northern portions of Lauderdale as well as Tishomingo County in Mississippi. But everyone in southern Middle Tennessee is going to be in that level 3 out of 5. Pretty much everybody else in a level 2 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms this evening into the overnight. I'm thinking the main threat with this system is going to be gusty to damaging winds. Can't completely rule out a tornado threat, not a main concern though, but I will talk more about threats here in just a moment, but just want to get that communicated right off the bat so you have a little bit of insight of what exactly we are dealing with. So for this morning, again, relatively uneventful, those storms staying well off to our northwest. Can't rule out a passing shower or two, but otherwise we're just going to be pretty hot and humid with a mostly cloudy sky for much of this morning and afternoon as well. Again, can't rule out a few stray showers, but I think Futurecast is just picking up on a juicy atmosphere with very high humidity for today and this afternoon. Check out the temperatures in southern Middle Tennessee. We are in the mid 80s for this afternoon, upper 80s for much of North Alabama and northeast Mississippi, but you'll notice things pretty uneventful still. Now for this afternoon, over the last few days, we've communicated a low possibility of a few storms popping up before that main line. It's really not looking likely. We're not going to let our guard down, however, not looking like a likely scenario heading into this afternoon. I think the main line this evening after dinner time is going to be the main show for this event. You'll see that on Futurecast. No development before this main line comes through. About 9 p.m. knocking on our doorstep, coming in from the northwest, going to continue to push south-southeastward through the rest of the evening into the overnight. Now, I will say this model is a little bit earlier than some of the others, but we are just going to err on the side of caution and tell you that as early as 9 p.m. is when we could see this line of storms again knocking on our doorstep for our western and northwestern counties. You'll notice it's a pretty stout linear system as it is still northwest of our viewing area, still holding itself together through much of the viewing area, but notice those little notches and breaks. That means it's a little bit starting to weaken. And that's what we expect. It has reflected on the Storm Prediction Center outlook as it continues to push through our viewing area, losing some storm fuel We are expecting it to weaken at some point in our viewing area. However, we do still have the potential again for gusty winds and can't completely rule out a tornado threat. It's just on the lower end side for this event this evening and overnight. So again, this is just an hour later, already through the middle of our viewing area, continuing to push eastward throughout the rest of the evening and overnight, with potentially some redevelopment heading into North Alabama by later into the overnight. But we again are going to see this continue to move on out, and we are going to clear out relatively heading into your Saturday morning. Now again, like I mentioned, we are expecting this line to weaken as it moves through our area. Exactly where it weakens and decides to dissipate and fizzle out will play an important role in what we see for the weekend heading into your Saturday, because if it does completely clear our area, kind of pushing away those storm ingredients, we may not see much in terms of any redevelopment for your Saturday. However, if it likes to fizzle out a little bit more northward, we may see some redevelopment and maybe a stronger storm or two during the afternoon. However, I'm thinking that it does clear the area, but just know that there are a few possibilities with what happens tonight that will influence what happens tomorrow. So be sure to stay tuned. We will, of course, keep you updated. Now for tonight, this evening, again, mainly after 9 p.m. is when we are expecting that line of storms to move through. Again, I can't completely rule out a tornado threat. It is on the lower end, but maybe an isolated tornado or two embedded in that line of thunderstorms. Again, can't completely rule it out, but the chance is low for that. The main threat going to be damaging winds, and damaging winds up to 50 to 70 miles an hour are possible. That's going to be the main threat with this line, especially in the far northwestern counties into southern middle Tennessee. Hail not really looking likely, maybe up to $half size if any storms do develop ahead of the main line. However, I'm not thinking hail is going to be a main threat. And since this is going to be a pretty quick moving system, we're not too concerned with any flooding here in the Tennessee Valley, which is certainly some good news. Now, regional futurecast does show this system clearing our area and then maybe some redevelopment heading into central Alabama as the storm ingredients kind of stay concentrated there after the system moves through tonight. However, again, we're just kind of erring on the side of caution with maybe a few thunderstorms overnight Saturday as well and into your Sunday. So things may stay unsettled for the weekend, but like I said, we're just going to have to take it day by day, because what happens the day prior is going to heavily influence what happens the following day. That's just the type of environment that we are seeing this weekend. And then we are going to stay unsettled heading into your Monday as we hold on to rain and storm chances here in the Tennessee Valley. Again, speaking of Saturday, again, I'm thinking that most of the storm activity is going to stay in central Alabama. However, we do have a level 1 out of 5 risk for maybe a strong storm or two, just in case we do see any redevelopment. So again, just stay on guard and stay weather aware this entire weekend, especially if you do have any plans outdoors. But again, the main threat going to be tonight, this evening into the overnight hours. You'll notice some pretty high rain chances over the next several days, especially for tonight. Very likely that just about everybody sees a storm this afternoon, or this evening to overnight, I should say. Saturday night as well. Then heading into your Sunday and Monday, scattered chances. And then our next best chance, another day that we're watching for maybe some stronger storms, Tuesday into Tuesday night. A little bit too early to tell those details, but just know that we are watching Tuesday as well heading into next week. But let's get through today before we worry about next week. Your morning drive is looking pretty calm. Again, maybe just a few stray showers. I'm thinking we stay mostly dry and mostly cloudy. Not much sunshine for today, but we will see a few peaks and a few breaks in the clouds here and there. It will be breezy at times with that wind out of the south, warming us up into the mid to upper 70s by about 9 a.m. and then into the 80s heading into this afternoon and evening. You'll notice that here on our 7-day forecast, temperatures in the mid 80s by this afternoon, with again an overcast sky, mostly cloudy sky, just clouds filtering in and out with that breeze out of the south, staying about 10 to 20 miles an hour with maybe a few thunderstorms this evening. Again, I'm thinking that chances is a little bit low heading into the overnight. And mainly after 9 p.m. is when we're looking at the better chances for rain and storms scattered to widespread in nature. So today, of course, stay weather aware. We will be here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center tracking these storms as they move through, and we will be live with any warnings that are issued. Of course, as always, we will get you through today's strong to severe storm threat, just like we always do this evening and into the overnight. For the weekend, we do stay unsettled with the chance for storms continuing. Again, what happens tonight is going to heavily influence what happens on Saturday, what happens on Saturday is going to heavily influence what happens on Sunday, kind of like a domino effect. So we're going to just be taking it day by day and making tweaks to the forecast as we head through the next several hours. And then we stay unsettled heading into Monday and Tuesday with, again, maybe some stronger storms overnight Tuesday. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but just know that that's on our radar as well. The good news, the end of next week is looking calm and dry for now. I'm really hoping and thinking it's going to stay that way. Just know we stay unsettled until we get to the end of next week. That's a check at your local weather forecast. I am back at 8 a.m. with another weather update.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.